discover that we indeed bring it to your audio visuals. Today is a Tuesday. It is the 28th day in the month of May 2024. And yes, the month of May is winding down to a close. But as the month is also winding down to a close, it seems as though the issues in Nigeria is not seemingly ending, not now, and maybe not ever, because we are faced with challenges every now and then. If it is not insecurity, it is corruption. If it is not corruption, it has to bother around the economy. If it is not about the economy, of course, it's got to also be on, other climes and other issues, and all of that. But all of them, of course, assuredly, seemingly affect each and every one of us in some ways. And it is very necessary for us as well to look at a topical issue, something that indeed bothers on one of our geographical, region states. That would be Kano State. Let's get on to Kano State and look into what's going on in Kano State. And we are looking at this one from the place of the Kano State Emirship Saga, right? The Kano State Emirship Saga. And it's no news, the fact that the Kano Emirate Saga has been a long-standing issue of power, politics, and tradition, and it has a complex web of events unfolding since 2019. Now, on March 11 of 2019, Muhammadu Sanusi II was removed as the Emir of Kano by the Kano State government, led by the Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, the then governor that is, and he was replaced with Aminu Ado Bayero. Now, this move was met with widespread criticism, right? Widespread criticism met this move, and it continued to plague the Emirates till date, right? So since 2019 up until now, it has been a matter that has been going on here and there, back and forth right there, even though the back and forth was not a very long-standing type. But yes, it's more like doomsday and been shifted to another date. And that date, of course, finally came when, of course, the sitting governor of Kano State, Yusuf, has decided to repeal a law that would bring back the formerly deposed emir of in Kano State right there. Yeah, but that being said, might I also just let you in on the fact that we will be joined by a guest, yes, who's going to be joining us via phone call, right? He's in the person of, he's a great and prolific, personality, by the way. And he is in the person of Comrade Salihu Dantata, right? Comrade Salihu Dantata would be having this conversation with us in a short bit. And he is the Secretary General, Arewa Youths for Peace and Security. Secretary General, Arewa Youth for Peace and Security. All right, so that is who he is, and yes, we will be having that conversation with him in a very short bit. But that being said, it is also very important for us to just look at some of the timeline of events, just before we brought him on, to having this conversation with us. March 11, 2019, Muhammad Sanusi II is removed as Emir of Kano and replaced with Aminu Ado Bayero. March 2019, Sanusi challenges his removal in court, citing unconstitutional grounds. May 2019, the Kano State government splits the emirate into 5 smaller emirates, a move seen as an attempt to weaken the institution. Yeah, and sometime around 2019 of June, Sanusi's legal challenge is dismissed by the court. Now, in 2020, tensions rose between the Kano State government and the emirate, with allegations of corruption and mismanagement. And if you also go to 2022, the National Security Advisor, NSA Babagana Munguno, the then National Security Advisor, becomes involved in the crisis, backing Sanusi's reinstatement. Then again, you would also discover that in 2023, the current deputy governor of Kano State, Nasiru Gawuna, is accused of playing a key role in Sanusi's removal and the subsequent emirate crisis. January 2024, the Kano State government announces plans, to reform the Emirates, sparking further controversy. Now, let me also take you down to May 2024. Fast forward to May 2024, where the Kano State House of Assembly repeals the Kano Emirates Council law. And May 25 of 2024, Justice Mohammed Liman of the Federal High Court grants an order stopping the Kano State government from enforcing the Kano State Emirate Council repeal law. And May 25, 2024, Bayero returns to Kano and moves into a palace in the Nasra, area of the state. And also, just very recently as well, the Northern Youth Assembly writes an open letter to President Bola Tinubu, urging him to be wary of some people in his government planning anarchy in Kano State. And we have also seen, I wouldn't call that a protest. It was a demonstration, right, of people who had protested the deposed, removal of the deposed former emir of Kano State right there. Yeah, talking about Ado Bayero. Well, we are joined in by our guest via phone call. Welcome to Eagles New Outlook right here on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Comrade Salihu Dentata Mahmood. Welcome aboard. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Right. Well, comrade, you are the Secretary General, Arewa Youths for Peace and Security. And that being said, what will be your take with the crisis that is rocking, or what is going on, the saga rather, that's going on in Kano State at the time?
Thank you very much, erudite anchor person. If Nigerians can recall, especially those who were matured enough in the 80s, they can vividly recall the Rimi reduction of the powers of the then Emir, the late Ado Bayero, where he created emirates just the way Ganduje did. And when eventually in 83 he lost his second term bid, his predecessor, the late Sabo Bakinzo, came and cancelled all the created emirates. So this is to say what happened in 2024, what happened in 2019 by Ganduje did not just start like that in Kano.
Right.
It had history from the Second Republic when Rimi did same thing, as well the predecessor cancelled all that he did. So this is like repetition. Kano people have been used to it. But above all, what I want to say, every error started from 1977, when the Ibrahim Dasuki Local Government Reform Committee went into action by placing traditional rulers under local government administration. That was from where we got it wrong. Hitherto, traditional rulers were very powerful, particularly and especially during the regional governments in the regional governments of the country,
right?
Like the Northern Regional Government, Western Regional Government, Eastern Regional Government, as well as others. So it all got wrong from the Ibrahim Dasuki Local Government Reform Committee, which also touched the powers of traditional rulers and placed them under the local government. What is happening in Kano now, I think, is a repetition of history. And don't forget, the grandfather of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, the reinstalled emir, suffered similar fate in the First Republic when he fell apart with Ahmadu Bello, who was the premier of northern Nigeria. He was deposed and banished to a town called Azare, present-day Bauchi State.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's some information right there. Well, it is indeed a very serious issue when we talk about the emirate and the emirship, and the tussle that has been dated to the 70s and the 80s. Well, the emirship is a revered traditional institution, especially in the north. and it holds a significant cultural and political influence. But the power tussle surrounding the Kano Emirates, seemingly, as many are saying, reflects the struggle for control and authority in the region. Do you agree to that?
Come again?
Yeah, the fact that the power tussle that's surrounding the Kano Emirate is reflecting the struggle for control and authority in the region. Do you agree to that?
Yes, to some extent it has resemblance, because if you check it out, it's a fight between two titans, political titans.
Right.
That is former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, as well as immediate past governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, who Itato were governor and deputies till he succeeded his predecessor and erstwhile boss, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Aftermath, a lot changed. So I think what is happening is the traditional institution in Kano State that is now paying the price for the fight, political fight between Itato governor and his deputy, and later incumbent governor who left immediately, that is Abdullah Umar Ganduje. So to some extent it's a political fight, and you can see that the fight was taken too far, because Umar Abdullah Ganduje dethroned Sanusi Lamido as emir and brought in Aminu Ado Bayero, the son of the late emir, and capacitated Emirate Itato third-class chiefs that were in Hausa are known as Akimis to first-class traditional rulers, namely Karaye, Bichi, Rano, and Gaya. Even at the time, Ganduje capacitated these third-class rulers to first-class rulers. There were certain communities that were aggrieved. I will give you an example of Wudil and Karaye.
Right.
You can never fear the wit and might of Wudil to Karaye. Instead of Wudil being the one that produced the first-class emir, Ganduje rather went and gave to Karaye. That grievances has also been there, and others as well. So the way it is a political fight taken too far. You know, the reinstalled emir Sanusi Lamido, Sanusi is a close and blossom friend of immediate former governor Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, while Ganduje is closer to Aminu Ado Bayero, Nasiru, and other emirs installed.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it is a political fight. I think any insinuation related to that is right. It's on course.
So doesn't it bother you that, these fights, when these two elephants fight, that the people of Kano are the ones paying the price?
Well, in this case, I don't think the grass is suffering by the fight of the two elephants, giant elephants.
Okay.
Because, by now, there will have been breakdown of law and order. There will have been crisis in Kano. But you can see the kind of restraint they maintained. You can see even for those that were protesting were not that violent. There were followers of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi who went to the palace where he ascended the throne once again. Then there were those that went to the Nasarawa emir's residence of Aminu Ado Bayero. So that is to say that people, behaved the way they ought to behave.
Okay.
So even though you can see the one-sided approach of the security agents, for example, you saw the commissioner of police in Kano State alongside the Naval Base Commandant, Air Force Base Commandant, Controller of Customs, DSS Director, Brigade Commander, and also others, saying that they were acting on the Federal High Court order which never had jurisdiction. Because I can vividly bring your sense to Tukur versus Governor of Gongola State, Emir of Mori deposition case. The Emir sought to challenge his disposition by Colonel Yohana Madaki, then military governor of Gongola State, by recourse to enforcement of fundamental rights action at the Federal High Court Kano.
Okay.
The Supreme Court made the distinction that the main relief was on chieftaincy the position law of Gongola State. The question of alleged breaches were ancillary to the main relief. The Federal High Court does not have jurisdiction over chieftaincy matters and so could not entertain the suit. Tukuru was advised to go to the Gongola State High Court. The law as stated by Supreme Court in Tukuru versus Governor of Gongola State, even though decided in 1980, has not changed till date. When the police is enforcing or implementing state laws, they are treated and regarded as agents of the state for the purpose of their activity or action. The proper court to challenge such action is the state court and not the Federal High Court, as we are still dealing with the laws, actions, or activities of the state.
Right, because I was gonna ask you that because we've seen two laws.
So the issue I brought out this issue, the Commissioner of Police acted in error.
Okay.
He failed to realize he should have called the state legal officer in charge of the state command to know the provisions of the law before going to enforce that law of Federal High Court, because the Federal High Court lacks that law on chieftaincy matter.
All right, just to allow for the listener to have a purview of what you just said, the Federal High Court had ordered the state government not to enforce the Emirates Council Repeal Law of 2024, while Kano State High Court issued an interim injunction restraining Aminu Ado Bayero and 4 others dethroned emirs of Bichi, Rano, Gaya, and Karaye from parading themselves as emirs, pending the hearing and the determination of the motion on notice filed by the applicant. And then the Kano State High Court as well ordered the police to evict the deposed emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, from the palace he is occupying along the state road in Nasarawa area of the state. Right. Well, this is what is going on in Kano State, and we have our guest who is in the person of Comrade Salihu Dantata Mahmood. You also want to add your voice in the discourse. You can as well call the studio number 0907 353 0044 or 0908 766 8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Well, comrade, I'd like to come from the angle of the statement you made. You made a statement at some point where you said that the entire issue began when we began to put our traditional life or lifestyle or practice under the local government. Would you like to expatiate on that just a little bit?
Yes, when the Dasuki Local Government Reform Committee sat and submitted its report to the then military administration, every issues related to traditional rulers was placed under local, which goes to say that no matter whether it is first class traditional ruler, whether it is second class or third, all their benefits, their salaries and directives comes from local government. And those directives are transmitted by the governor to the local government chairman via via the commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs to the emirs and also of others. Them for meetings of peace, and that is why they lack roles, because constitutionally now the traditional institution lacks role. Most of these roles you are seeing, we can describe them as extra curricular roles. Unlike
let me wait in. Didn't it used to be so before?
No, during the regional government it wasn't so. Traditional rulers settled disputes. Traditional rulers even presided over court sessions.
Okay.
In custom, yes. During the First Republic, when we were having regional government, they were that powerful. Where issue of communal clashes, conflicts, and issues that had to be settled, they are settled by traditional rulers. So by the Dasuki Reform Committee, they ceased to discharge such responsibilities. And these roles, you see them discharging now, are extra curricular roles, because you now see our traditional rulers meeting on religious matters, meeting on issues that have to bring about peace and unity, which ought not to be. Their roles ought to have extended beyond that. It is only in advanced countries, which like in Britain, for instance, you have the Prime Minister, right?
Exactly.
You have you have the queen. Initially, after her demise, you had the queen. So whatever decision is to be taken, the final decision lies with the king, who is now King Charles, which you know. We also have countries like Nepal that operates monarchical system. You have countries like Belgium, Spain, and a host of other countries as well. But in Nigerian system now, their roles have been made to be ceremonial, subject to political will. And that is why governors can decide when they have, for traditional rulers that refuse to support their bid after winning election, dethrone them using certain, portions of the law. Even though the deliberation in Kano State House of Assembly that reviewed and amended the law that dethroned and created emirates in Kano did not go through public hearing, it was already done. So that is to also tell you it was more of political. I'm not trying to hold brief for anyone.
Right. All right.
Constitutionally, like I emphasized, every law of presentation of staff of office, appointment of the emir or whatever, Akimi or whatever lies with the governor of the state via transmission to his commissioner for local government, or sometimes the deputy governors hold brief for them and the local government chairman.
So, which would you have preferred? Should it have been the way it used to be in the traditional times, or is it even better now that the traditional, rulership is under the local government, jurisdiction? Which would have been better?
It would have been perfect if it had remained the way it was in the First Republic. Yes.
Alrighty.
Because then they were highly respected, they were feared, and nobody could interfere with them. Even though the grandfather to Emir Sanusi, the reasons for his dethronement was because of his disagreement with the then premier, that is Ahmadu Bello, Sokoto, because they had a disagreement where I think there were reported cases of alleged insubordination, disloyalty, and maybe excesses of power as a traditional ruler or emir of Kano then.
All right, let's put a peg to your thoughts and take this call. Hello, good morning.
My brother, I greet you.
Yeah, good morning to you, please.
Yes, I remain Mr. Sunday the Prince.
All right. Where are you calling from, please?
Yes, presently I'm calling you at Gariki Market. So I went to price Gala and rice to know if you have
let's have your thoughts.
Well, what is happening in Kano, for me, I never expected it. My reason is that when Sanusi was dethroned, was deposed, he was also banished to Nasarawa State at one remote village. He was verified and went and bring him back to Kaduna. From there he flew to Lagos. Nobody protested. Nobody raised his eyebrow. Kano was peaceful. Kano was calm. People was busy patiently waiting for the election time so that they would decide otherwise. And when the governor created that 5 additional foreign emirates, including the existing one, which is 5, nobody kicked against it. Nobody protested. Nobody raised eyebrow. Heaven will never fall. Nobody carried the placard out there. Nobody told the governor that what he did was bad. But people then, because the governor was in charge, is the alpha and the omega of Kano then. What people was busy waiting is when the election comes, people will decide otherwise. Now another sheriff is in town, and he's ready to take the bull by the horn by reversing what the former governor did. Now it became a crime. Now everybody was raising eyebrow, protest and demonstration everywhere. For what? And the new sheriff is in town. They should allow him to do. So if they're not happy with what he's doing, they should wait patiently after 4 years. Possibly they vote him out. And if they succeeded, and that governor will come, possible to the bidding of what the elite want. But as it is now, they have to allow peace reign in Kano, allow the people go out for their normal daily activities, and forget the issue of what is happening in Kano. Because for me, they sponsor the protest, as I'm concerned. Because initially, nobody gave room to that. Okay. Nobody have anything to that. Suddenly, they started raising a lot of noise from Abuja here.
All right.
So what you did to another person can come back to you.
All right,
so
thank you.
They never thought of the after effect of it.
Okay.
So now they are saying that back. We haven't done anything. We went through the National Assembly and it was law. So
All right,
Federal
thank
High Court should not
Yeah.
been in Chief Justice affair
Yeah.
that concerns the whole of Kano State. They should stop politicizing everything and creating confusion and crisis.
All right, thank you so much, though, for that one. Stop politicizing everything. Comrade, would you say that what is going on in Kano is a matter that is politicized somewhat? And what would be your response to what the caller said right there?
Well, let me make one correction in some of the submission of the caller.
Yeah.
In the first place, he said after he was dethroned by Ganduje, he was banished to Loco in Nasarawa State. It was Erufai that took him. And no, it was a legal process because after he was banished to Loco, he cited a case of insecurity, armed banditry and what have you, and sought the what have you of a competent court of jurisdiction.
Yeah,
and court granted him that, and that was how he relocated to Lagos. So that's the position. The submissions he made are right. At the time he was dethroned, Sanusi Lamido took it in good faith.
Right.
There weren't any crisis. He left the palace immediately. That is being gentlemanly and being obedient to law. So we had expected the dethroned Emir Aminu Ado Bayero to follow suit. Because at the time,
at some point, we saw a news where Ado Bayero said he has resigned to fate and that he was going to leave the palace.
That is after their gimmicks with Ganduje failed. Ganduje,
okay.
It was alleged that initially the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, a retired AIG, gave 2 helicopters, including contingent of soldiers and other security men, which Ribadu, through his spokesperson in NSA office, denied. And even, went to threaten the deputy governor that he was going to sue
he had to apologize.
The
deputy governor,
So it was when the can of worms were opened that it was not that it was a case of impersonation. You get my point?
Right.
So it was at that point that Aminu Bayero had to take to his fate. But the first person to take it as an act of God was the post emir of Gaya.
Okay,
who said he took it in Yawa. Then that of Bichitu did not say anything. But above all, I think what the president and commander-in-chief should do, those security higher echelons, commissioner of police, the brigade commander of the Nigerian Army, the representation of the security and civil defense, Nigerian customs, Nigerian Navy, DSS and others, they needed to be probed. Who gave them that directive? If the NSA said he was not the one, was it the chief of army staff? Was it the chief of defense staff? Or was it someone else that was bribed? Because this amounts to impersonation.
Right.
If this can happen in a digital age, in democracy, it means one day higher echelons can also impersonate to do certain things against the state. So this is a very, very serious crime that the National Security Advisor as coordinator of the security for the president, because his essence of being there, he coordinates the entire security architecture for the president and commander-in-chief from the armed forces, police, DSS, paramilitary and what have you. So if this can happen by impersonating his name, it also go to for him instituting inquiry to investigate, and if anybody is caught, then they know how the law should take its course in order to serve as deterrent.
Right. We're already seeing at some point, it was showing as though the governor of, Kano State, sat there, was there as though he was helpless because at the point where we had, the combined efforts of the security personnel defying some of the orders he gave, well, he sent some signals out there. But then we'll get back into this. Let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back in a short break. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Please listen to this announcement. Loxler Construction Limited presents a limited time offer on its off-plan price for Kasana houses till June 15th. Grab these incredible deals. 4-bedroom terrace duplex at 40 million naira. 3-bedroom terrace duplex at 35 million naira. 2-bedroom flat at 23 million naira. And 3-bedroom flat at 28 million naira. The first 2 buyers of the 3-bedroom duplex will get it at 33 million naira. For Life Camp, the ongoing project is still available and many subscribers are moving into the estate. 3-bedroom terrace duplex at 43 million naira and 4-bedroom terrace duplex at 52 million naira. Covered by NHF and rent-to-own scheme. They also offer 6 to 12 months flexible payment plans. For more information, contact Loxler Construction Limited at 070-5758-2753. That is 070-5758-2753. Secure your dream house now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hi there. Do you want to know how to get the correct approval or documents for your land and property? Do you need the right information on how you can prevent your building from being demolished? Then tune in to Town Planning Program on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja every Thursday by 4:30 p.m.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Through our research and policy memos, we have identified the challenges facing youth civic participation. Now, it's time to equip you with the tools you need to engage with government agencies and elected leaders effectively. Are you tired of feeling sidelined in the governance process? Do you want to make a difference in your community? Don't let your voice go unheard. Tune into Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Civic Martyrs and be part of the movement for a more inclusive, accountable, and transparent government. Our mission is clear: to bridge the gap between citizens and government, ensuring that public resources are located to address your priorities. The Civic Martyrs is sponsored by ProMed Foundation with the support of the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund, NYFF.
Tap in and turn it up.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable.
Eagles 102.3.
You are still tuned in and locked onto Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, where we give you an audiovisual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day, and you can get across social media platforms where we have social media, an online TV for Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. And this, of course, is the promise that we have made to you about bringing the audiovisual experience to your consciousness. And you can get across to, YouTube, get onto Facebook, get onto Twitter, and you will have that audiovisual experience indeed. And still talking about the Kano State Emirship Saga, and we have our guest who is joining us via phone call now in a person, Naf Comrade Salihu Dantata Mahmood, and he is the Secretary General Arewa Youths for Peace and Security. Well, Comrade, let's take this call and we'll get back to conversing. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear brother.
Yes, good morning to you.
Thank you. This is Alami from Central area at the moment.
All right, welcome, Alami.
Yes. You see, I want to first of all appreciate the leadership quality of the Khalifa, the Emir of the 16th Emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi. He has shown that, and he said it clearly when he was deposed in 2020. He said only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give power. And then when he was deposed, he caused no fuss, he caused no trouble. Immediately, that same day, he left Kano as tradition demands. He was banished to a village in Nasarawa, and he went there. He went to Nasarawa to challenge it in court, unlike what we are seeing today. I think it is obvious the people of Kano cannot decipher who truly love them, who have the interest, the peace, the progress and development of the state at heart between the Emir, the 16th Emir and the 15th. And unfortunately, I'm not from Kano. I'm not going to dabble into it. I just want to, appreciate the 16th Emir for his maturity, for showing that leadership is not about do or die. When your people say they don't want you, because the voice of the people is the voice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. And the people, they spoke through democratic process. The same way they spoke to remove him, in 2022 through a law that was passed by the majority of the House of Assembly is the same thing that was done again this time around, that the people also spoke to the people that they elected in a democratic, process, that they said, look, they want our emirate to be restored back to the status quo before 2020. I'm surprised now that we are seeing protests. We are seeing some people refusing to leave the palace. That is the highest level of desperation, and people of that character should never be allowed anywhere close leadership. There is nothing royalty in that. That is not royalty. Royalty is what Lamido Sanusi has exhibited, and we commend him, and I hope everybody can copy and invite that virtue of allowing the will of God to be done at every given time. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Alamin, for that one. You can still keep the calls coming through as you connect with us via the number 0907-353-0044 or 0908-766-8888. And you can as well get onto the WhatsApp portal number 0909-705-4450. Taking this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
This is Love calling from Kichunguru, Abuja.
Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Love Wakam. I'm calling from Kichunguru, Abuja.
All right, let's get on straight to it.
Honestly, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is a man to imitate his character. I love him because he's a man of principle. The day His Excellency Alhaji Ganduje disposing that is no more the Emir of Kano. In fact, there was no violence in Kano. Please, Ado Bayero's son, and you should copy such. You are not leading yourself, you are leading the Kanos. We don't want problems, we don't want crisis in this nation again. Ado should imitate what Sanusi Lamido did 3 years ago. That is my own suggestion. Thank you very much. All
right, thank you so much for your take on that one. And yes, we're back to you, Comrade Salihu. You've heard Nigerians talk. What's your take on this based on your reaction to these?
Well, you can see people eulogizes the virtues and qualities of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, a grandson of once dethroned emir, banker, Islamist scholar, and Tijaniya leader in the whole of Africa. There is one thing Aminu Ado Bayero failed to take into consideration. There is one history Nigerians don't know that I'm going to tell them today.
Okay.
They are one of the most opportune royal blood, paternal and maternal. The mother of Aminu and Nasiru Ado Bayero hails from the royal family of Sulu Kanaini Gambari Ilori. That is the late emir of Ilorin, who is father to this present emir, is senior brother to Aminu Ado Bayero's mother, who is now late.
Wow.
Nigerians don't know this history. So both paternal and maternal side, they are fully blooded royal blood. So they ought to have known what is right, when, and how in terms of what they call peace and submission to the will of God. You can see they had more advantage than Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, because paternal side royal blood, maternal side royal blood. And for Sanusi, it's only paternal side that is royal blood. So you can see that.
Right.
So a lot of Nigerians don't know that they have link with Ilori Emirate in Kwara State. The present emir of Ilori, retired president of Court of Appeal Lagos, Justice Gambari, is uncle, is a senior brother. They are cousins, sorry to forgive me. They are cousins with Aminu Ado Bayero and Nasiru Ado Bayero.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
I get that.
They are cousins.
All right. Well, anyways, okay, yeah, you were saying.
So they ought to have embraced faith, embraced peace.
Okay.
Only God saved and averted violence and crisis in Kano.
Okay.
But we thank God that the federal government dissociated itself, the National Security Advisor dissociated itself, and the judicial process went on the way it ought to be by the Kano High Court.
Okay.
Bringing a restraining order, because the jurisdiction is are state high court jurisdiction and not federal high court jurisdiction.
Right. Anyways, let's take this call right now. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, Mr.
Yes, hello, good morning to you.
My name is Olajide. I'm calling from Wuse.
All right, let's get your thoughts. Yeah.
Very good. On this issue on ground, Saudwak, if somebody slaps you, you didn't retaliate. You kept quiet. Does it mean that if somebody slaps me, I should behave the way you behaved? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am listening.
If Emir Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, the 16th Emir, was voted out previously, and he didn't go to court, didn't go anywhere, he go peacefully. Then the 15th one saw that there's no need for me to vote that and went to court. What is the problem in that, Master Udwak? I want to ask.
Right.
Are you getting it? Because you don't let us look at this issue holistically. The man fighting through the court has every right, constitutionally, personally, to do it. It's not left for the constitution, not left for the court to tell him that you are right or you are wrong.
Okay.
Finally, Pastor Udwak.
Yes, please.
This problem on ground was caused by Sanusi Lamido Sanusi.
Okay.
Even though everybody is praising him today, it's because of this problem. Ganduje and Kwankwaso are both the government that brought him to power as the emir. But immediately he got there, he started going against the sitting government. And we know in Nigeria, the emir, the Oba, Akimis, they are under the purview of the government.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yeah, you might want to speed up now so that you get to your conclusion, yeah?
So finally, let's not take side for anybody.
Okay.
Let the court, as of today, the federal court has retained the government and Lamido Sanusi, and that tells you, as of today, Emir, the former Emir is still the Emir until other pronouncements.
Okay.
God bless Nigeria. God bless you, FM.
That's right, Olajide. All right, God bless you too, Olajide. Very profound right there. Okay, let's just take this one and then we'll get back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Dwell.
Yes, please.
Good morning once again.
Good morning to you.
Mr.
Honorable Edwards, yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Dwell, honestly speaking, we have to live by example.
Okay.
We are talking about, Kano State leadership is from God. We're talking about sense and the immediate past. That man, I can call him immediate past because he's no longer there. The truth is that even if it is by voting with the voice that I've had here, I need to have a vote. Then if I may ask, where was that man when Senator was voted? Or is the appointment? I don't know how they do their own. In our place is by voting. That man, where was he when Senator was given that opportunity? This is loyalty. And let me tell you something. Leadership is from God. It's from God.
Okay.
And so obey the rules. We need to understand that without rules in this country, you cannot be sitting on this radio station. Remove police that we always complain about. Remove them for just 1 hour. You yourself will run out of that place. Truly, if the way Senator was removed and this man was installed as the emir, the Senator go to court, the Senator obey the law. This is what all our brothers and sisters are saying. The man should completely obey the law.
Okay.
And that's it. It's a simple thing.
Okay.
But do you know that River State, the problem in River State, this is worse than, Kano State is worse than River State with what things are going. We in Nigeria, we don't go with Kano State and River State. We know what's come out from those states. But they should know that we are looking on to these people. They should obey the laws. When are we going to start obeying our own rules? If we don't obey this, how can we move forward?
Okay. All right,
thank you,
Honorable. Thank you so much for your take, Comrade Salihu. You've heard, the angles that has been brought before you. One of our callers had been, or family members, has said, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with Abdul Bayero going to, court, and all of that." And asking as well if we've got Comrade Honorable Edwards also asking whether or not Sanusi had gone to court during his time when he was deposed and all of that. When you put all of these together, it somewhat boils to the place of how the traditional institution has been submerged with the government as it stands, but what's your reaction to all of these though?
So I think the second to last speaker went off track. I don't think it's in tandem with reality and development from the day it started, from the deliberation in Kano State House of Assembly till the emanation of temporary to emirs in Kano. The issues we are saying here is about constitutional provision and jurisdiction.
Right.
He said Federal High Court. Constitutionally, Federal High Court has no jurisdiction on chieftaincy and traditional institution matters, which I quoted to you based on a case that happened in 1988 in Gongola State, old Gongola State. You can vividly recall, I emphasize that, isn't it? Then, above all, he said that Sanusi was criticizing them. I want to bring him to note to Oyo State in southwest Nigeria. During the governorship of Abiola Ajimobi, the late Alape of Oyo, Lamidi Adeyemi, during one of the visits of Ajimobi to his palace, raised certain issues about hardship people are facing in the state, lack of development and what have you. And the late governor, Abiola Ajimobi, used song to reply the Alafi. Why didn't Ajimobi depose Alafi? Then again, of recent, the Oni of Ife, Oba Enito Ogowosi, was in the Senate where there was a get-together where he was reminding the senators and House of Rep members that sat in combined about insecurity, underdevelopment, and what have you. Why didn't the Senate take action? So in digital age, it is expected that when you are a traditional ruler, you must speak on behalf of your people. You can't be a lame dog, you can't be a Sidon look, you can't be a dummy. So Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is an international reputable statesperson.
Okay.
You know, he was governor of Central Bank and what have you.
Right.
So jurisdiction, Federal High Court lacks jurisdiction. It has now been corrected as Kano State High Court has taken over the jurisdiction and has given restraining order.
Right. Okay.
Are you now getting me?
Yes. Let's quickly take this message, then you give your final thoughts on the matter, even though we know that this issue is still ongoing, and as it breaks, we will bring it to, our audio-visual consciousness. Well, this one right here coming from Samuel from Kuje says, "Good morning, my brother Udwak Daniel. Good morning to you. My brother UD. The politicians should stop politicizing our revered traditional thrones and face the matters of governance that you don't like the face of the person who is occupying the throne. As a governor, you should not dabble into the traditional matters causing unrest in the land, please." All right, he says, have a nice day. Right there. Well, we would not be able to take any more calls, but I would have loved to take this call, but no, I can't. Not at this time. Comrade, you are one who is you are the Secretary General, Arewa Youths for Peace and Security. Now, for the Arewa Youths for Peace and Security, what measures have you taken to seen to it that some of these issues do not escalate past what it is, and your final thoughts on the matter?
We have a lot of followership amongst the youths in the 19 northern states of the Federation.
Right.
So when this issue was blowing out of proportion, we used our initiative to get into studio in state and FCT to bring the constitutional provision on chieftaincy and traditional matters.
Right.
Then also called on youths in both English television, radio programs and what have you to not to allow themselves to be used, because Aminu Ado Bayero is a billionaire. Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is a billionaire.
Okay.
So when they are fighting, and you now say you sell maybe fruits in the market, or you are digital driver, or you sell clothes in Sabongari market, Kantinkori market, or you sell the dawa, you sell kulikuli, and you now go and sacrifice for them. Their children are abroad, their children are well placed. So you be the one to pay for the price. So people should maintain the strong, which has happened.
Yeah.
So I think our
thoughts?
disguise and brokers' enlightenment went a long way. So these were the roles the Arewa Youth for Peace and Security played.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts, and of course for the extent to which the Arewa Youths have gone in this regard. You are the Secretary General, Arewa Youths for Peace and Security. You are Comrade Salihu Dantata Mahmood. We hope that when we call upon you as this matter progresses, I know that you are, an expert in security. So yes, I hope that you also oblige us.
By the grace of God, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, far too kind. All right. Well, that being said, there are some, implications on the issues and some expectations that you and I have. One of the implications would be the continued instability in the Emirates and Kano State, further erosion of traditional institutions, escalating tensions between the government and the Emirates, potential for violence and unrest, which is something that we don't want to see, damage to cultural and historical significance of the Emirates. But expectations would border around the resolution of legal battles and a clear path forward, the restoring of the Emirates' autonomy and authority, and showing the place of accountability for those involved in corruption and mismanagement. The place of reconciliation cannot be thrown away between the government and the Emirates, and preservation of traditional practices and cultural heritage. Well, this is the much that we can take, on the matter today. We hope that you have had, some quality time as well as some education as regards what's going on in Kano State. Tomorrow is yet another day as we'll be bringing yet another topical issue and having that conversation right here. Thank you for your contributions. You are indeed the best. Top of the hour 10, Martha is going to be here for the Midday Extra show, and my name is Udrak Daniel. Don't go away.